Guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Variable Barricade, about to have the reveal of the century! We already know what it is, but I got a drink. I warned you last time, get a fucking drink. Do you have a drink? If not, we'll talk for a minute. You could pause it, so go get yourself a fucking drink. I don't care if it's water, I don't care if it's tequila, I don't know, I feel like we need shots. I've got myself my peanut butter whiskey, I've got my pain in the ass bird, who is like hanging off my shoulder trying to get my whiskey. He's gonna drink more of it than I am. And we're gonna have a fucking fun time. Also, just have to throw this out there. Sorry, my phone's gonna go crazy because my friend was texting me asking me if I wanted to go see a concert, and I'm like, I'm not into concerts. And then she's like, what about Lost Boys in the theater? And I was like, fuck yeah! Because my other friend and I were talking about old fucking movies, and now I'm like, what the hell? What are the chances of that happening? And then she's like, I might be able to like pick you up, but it'd have to be after work. I'm like, you have to pick me up. I'm not allowed to drive right now. Because the neurologist said no. So I sent her the Ralph from fucking, The Simpsons. I'm in danger! I basically sent her that, and I'm like, I feel like that, but it's more like, I'm a burden! So that's probably her report. No, fuck that, you aren't a burden. It's so funny, though. Anyway, shit. I'm reading you this because it's funny as shit. I love Ralph. He was just neurodivergent. He was, A, he was cool, B, and C, he had a bowl cut. A lot of us can relate to. Fucking bowl cut. Anyway, so my phone's going to be going nuts because when my friend texts, she also texts like one sentence at a time instead of a whole paragraph. But anyway, so we're about to find out. Okay, Bert, you know it. Simmer down. My drink. Hold on. Everybody take a sip. I smacked my glass into my microphone. I'm so sorry. We need a drink for this because holy fucking shit. Shit's about to get wild, bitches. We already know Kasuga's our brother. And this is not how I expected this to go. I'm going to be straight up honest. So, like, I was like, I want to fall in love with Kasuga. And anybody who'd played this game before was probably like, oh, no, Spacey, oh. And that's fine. Because again, playing Virtushana in tandem with this prepared me for the inevitability that I was going to fuck my brother. Because, well, in that game, one of the routes straight up your brother, and from like reading the whoa, wait a minute, he's like my half brother, he's not really my brother, what the fuck's going on? So I've just been prepared since the beginning of that game for this, so and then we got to the point where all of a sudden I was like, oh, because I was really thinking we were going to date Kasuga at some point, and then I was like, they're not going to let us date him, and then I've been throwing these my brother, cousin, uncle, sister, father thing around to get used to it. So then I was like, you can't throw anything at me now. There's a 2% chance you're going to throw something at me that I'm going to be like, well, that's unforgivable. I can't. But this is not it. I'm here for this. We are full on the debauchery train. Woo, motherfuckers. Okay, let's go. But we need a drink because she's going to like fucking, woo! Let's do shots! I don't know. So, yeah, and after like 2 sips, because I haven't eaten dinner yet, I had like 2 leftover slices of pizza for lunch, like at 11:30. That's like 6 hours ago. 7 hours ago? I can't do math. I can't see my clock. So like, this is going to be a good time. We're going to be drunk by the time this part ends. Okay. Plus, again, it's whiskey. So, And like, but again, I kind of was like, oh, he's going to be like our half brother or brother or some shit. Like, I was waiting for that. And then when they kind of alluded to, I was like, but they've thrown me in this whole entire thing with the like, he cares about you a little bit too much. Is he in love with me? Is that what you're saying? But he's not in love with you. Oh. And then like our grandfather saying shit. And then you're like, I got really excited. Like I was like, oh, he loves us. No, he doesn't. Oh. And then he loves us again. He's your brother. Oh, wait a minute though. But he's got an unhealthy obsession with us. So like, yeah. All right. If he's our brother and it's just brotherly love and not some kind of weird, really into your sister kind of shit, then that's disappointing. But here we are, and you're like, wow. I mean, I expected it to be like, oh, he's your brother, and I was going to be like, I don't care. I know it's not going to go that way, but I don't care. But now it might go that way, and I'm here for it. I was not expecting it to be like, well, he was a prodigy and also oddly obsessed with you, and it's creepy. You say it's creepy, and I'm fucking down with this shit. I don't know. So yeah. All right. Here you go. I need therapy now. How do you feel about brothers? Not like that. In a game, it's one thing. In real life, gross. But, you know. Or all those poor people that didn't know that they were related, and then they fell in love with someone that was their sibling. But you didn't grow up with them. So, like, on one hand, I'll give us a pass. We didn't know Kasuga was our brother before we fell in love with him. But also, he didn't give a shit. So, like, I'm here for that, too. So, anyway. So, anyway, we read this last time, but we'll start again. To ease us into this, I'm ready. Then he slowly, hesitantly, began to talk about what happened to my brother. The sour look on his face conveyed how he felt about the conversation. There you go. I read normal. Oh, for dramatic oh my god, seriously. Like, if we didn't already fucking know it was Kasuga, this is obvious as shit. For Tsubame, the fact that he allowed me to be hurt was a major personal failing. If the trauma had been so bad he fell into a deep depression. I feel like it should say the trauma. If the trauma had been so bad he fell into a deep depression, that may have fostered a little sympathy. Right. But no, not Tsubame. He's holding his hand like a seriously. After being separated from me, he promptly immersed himself in studies of all kinds, learning everything he could about a multitude of subjects. Skipping grade after grade, he advanced through school so quickly he got his bachelor's degree at the age of 11. But wasn't he taking care of us at age 8? Or was it? Oh, we were 8. And he was like 11. Maybe that was it. Okay.
There. And now you have no complaints, correct? I've learned and grown. I'm now fully qualified to raise her. I'm going to Japan. She's waiting for me there. Don't try to stop me. You can't.
Observing their son's triumphant smirk, my parents threw up their hands and gave up. If my brother was 11, then I would have been about, 9 years old? That was when I was still entirely alone inside the Tojo mansion. I feel like our grandfather's like, yeah, so he decided, and you're like, huh, that's weird. Huh, like the age me and Kasuga. And that's about when Kasuga came to me. Anyway, so, go on, and your grandfather's just looking at you. Takes a sip of his drink, just staring dead at you. Not even blinking. His slow blink. Waiting for it to foster in your brain, and you're like, You're like smiling along, like, oh, this is weird. And then all of a sudden the realization starts dawning and your eyes start glazing over because you're processing it all and you're starting to realize. And he's just like, there it is. Right as soon as it clicks in your brain, he just sees it. Sees those cogs going. Wait, when I was 9. Yeah, it's happening. Exactly. There you go. No, can't be. Right? But again, why did you allow this? The whole reason. I don't get it. Did you all have Stockholm Syndrome? I know I do, clearly, but... Tsubame came to Japan and promptly visited the Tojo family mansion, but grandfather, who took what he'd heard very seriously, did not allow him to meet me. Far from intimidated, Tsubame fixed grandfather with a frosty glare.
You say I'm a danger to her. And what are you, who's allowed her to remain frightened and alone these many years?
I can't do kid version of the voice, so that's why we're getting normal. Anyway, who knows how he had uncovered everything, but Tsubame relayed my living situation at the Tojo mansion with terrifying accuracy. Grandfather was unable to refute his accusation and gave Tsubame the opportunity to present a deal.
Spacey is precious, correct? I understand that, grandfather. I understand that very well. She makes you want to do anything for her. I may be the eldest son, but you still want to make her your heir to the Tojo family, correct? Fine. I agree wholeheartedly.
I think it's so funny that grandfather, you can't marry her, and he's like, watch me, bitch! Like, yeah, I know. And in the back of his mind, he's like, fuck that shit, I'll do it.
Well, grandfather, let me tell you something. My dream is to raise her to become an empress who rules over the Tojo fortunes. You want that too, right? To see that come true, I'll renounce my own name. We can't have a succession battle after all. I'll erase Tsubame Tojo from existence for her.
Grandfather stared, speechless, at the 11-year-old boy who proposed the audacious plan with measured coolness.
Spacey needs me. You can't deny it. I can make her smile as easily as I can open a door. If you want what's best for her, let me raise her. And that's all I want.
Okay, but this just sounds a little weird, but not the weird incest shit that I thought we were going down. You're disappointing me, game. I have a drink prepared for this. Wait, slow down!
What? I haven't finished yet.
But something's wrong with how this story's going. If my brother wanted to raise me, then he'd be with me right now. But girl, she had the pieces. She was like, 9. Wait, that's when, Anyway, where's my brother now? And her grandfather's like, girl, seriously? You have the fucking math equation. It's 2 + 2. You can't get 4?
Don't you recall what I just said? Tsubame chose to hide his true identity so you could inherit the Tojo family with no issue. And don't tell me you can't think of anyone who's currently overzealous about looking after you.
No, can't be right.
He proposed the idea himself. It was a plan that prevented inheritance issues and let him grasp what he wanted most. He told me from that day forward.
I love little baby Kasuga.
He'd become Kasuga, your personal butler.
I love it. It's so funny that they finally bring it to light and you're supposed to be like, but like when they showed him, they gave him the hair. It's not like, come on. It's not like it was a shadow child without Kasuga hair. It was a shadow child with Kasuga hair. It's like, well, you fucking knew. Anyway.
It was a preposterous suggestion, becoming a butler just so he could nanny his little sister. I refused him. When he brought up how you'd closed yourself off from the entire family, I didn't have much room to maneuver, so I gave him a chance.
A chance to...
Told him that if he could get you to open up to him inside 1 month, I'd let him stay. Time you'd walled yourself off from every servant I'd assigned to you and dwelled in complete solitude. I reckoned that even though he was your brother, you wouldn't let him in so easily. But in a few days, he was in your good graces. Good graces? Gave me a big headache.
I mean, seriously? Because you were, like, I get what... Okay. This makes a little more sense. Wait. Alright, fine. See if she opens up to you in a month. And then he's like, oh, by the way, it's been 5 minutes. We're besties now. And he's like, fuck. Because obviously there's something about in our mind that we remembered him and we trusted him.
So you see, a butler is effectively the most steadfast and reliable ally a lady may have. I've no time to try to curry favor with you. I must constantly be making every effort to serve you.
Suga.
The rest is, as you know, Kasuga put every effort into raising you into his ideal lady while subtly making certain you were codependent on him alone. I'm okay with this. If he could set me up as your enemy, then you'd have no recourse but to rely on him even more. I suspect that was his plan.
I'm gonna go with it. Is the bad ending where we go with it? Because then I'm here for the bad ending. I just want to go with it. I'm totally fine with being codependent on my brother lover. I'm just saying. Brother lover butler. Butler brother lover? Brother butler lover? I don't know which order we should put that in, but I'm just saying.
Our relationship's cold because of his manipulation.
What? Wait. My mind can hardly keep up with all this. Girl, you need some shots. Grandfather loved me? His harsh manner was the result of miscommunication. That alone was almost too much to process. Then I hear my parents, who I was told had died, are actually alive? And I have a brother, too? Not only that, my brother's actually Kasuga? It was all so unbelievable. So hard to swallow. I just couldn't...
Are you alright?
All right? How could I possibly be all right? My mind was spinning. I barely breathe. Why? Why now? Why? Wait this long to tell me? Forced my quivering lips to form the words. Grandfather answered with quiet solemnity. Sorry.
Like I said to begin with, he is my grandchild, the same as you. I do want what's best for him, too. I want him to step forward and reclaim the position and the life he's entitled to. Spacey, for these last 8 years, you've been living in a tiny bird cage zealously guarded by Kasuga. When you became friends with Miss Samugi in middle school, I breathed a heartfelt sigh of relief. I knew she'd broaden your world, at least a little. Now, living together with your suitors, I suspect your world's expanded even further. Your birdcage is on the verge of breaking open. Now's our only chance. Now that you've finally begun to open yourself up to people who are not him. Now we can hope to return Kasuga to Tsubame.
I want him to stay Kasuga, though. I like Kasuga. Stop! Stop confusing me! I love this, because I feel like there should be two endings to this, and it shouldn't be the true ending and then the bad ending. It should just be two true endings, where it's like one you go down and you're like, yeah, no, let's get bad. Okay, Kasuga, blah, 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 bad. But then another one where you're absolutely like, hell yeah, I'm ruling this fucking family with my brother lover. You know what I'm saying? I want like that fucked up I just don't want it to be like, well, this is the good ending and this is the bad ending. No, I want them to be two versions. So like either way, you're like, well, which one's the right one? And they're like, that's up to you, bitch. Because that would just be so much more fucking like, how dare you? You know what I mean? Where you're like, what? There's just two. It's like Clue, you know, where like it could have happened this way. Or it could have happened. But what if it happened this way and there's just three fucking endings and you just have no idea because they're all the fucking ending? They don't tell you which fucking, you know what I mean? Like, if you've never watched the movie Clue, you're fucking missing out. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. But I'm just saying. I just really want that to be what happens here. I couldn't take anymore. I lurched up from the table and nearly ran to the door. Spacey! What's up, babe? Done talking already? I'm leaving! Now! Huh? But, babe. I've had enough! It was too much. So many facts had been lobbed at me, one after another, without giving me a chance to digest any of it. How was I supposed to take it? Curtain had been swept away from my life. The truths I'd firmly believed in for the past decade were completely false. Truths about my grandfather, truths about my parents, truths about my brother. No, about Kasuga. And they expect me to think about my future now? I'm saying I still want a Kasuga cardboard cutout. This does not change my mind 100 at all. Like 0%. My mind was refusing all orders to stop and think. All I felt was an instinctive urge I couldn't ignore. Get away. Far away. Now. My body refused all orders from my brain except for one that screamed through every cell. Run. And that's where there should be two paths. Like one where you like run away with Kasuga and just live in like the weird debauchery. And then another one where you're like, no, and I fight through it. Kasuga's identity. Kasuga's really my brother, Tsubame. It takes days for me to deal with the shock. I try to talk to Kasuga, but my head throbbed. A dull pulsing ache that drummed behind my temples. Perhaps the tale grandfather told me was too big for my brain to hold. It ached with the effort. Or perhaps my splitting headache was a punishment I unconsciously imposed on myself for running away like a coward instead of swallowing reality. Tired. Did I make grandfather upset by suddenly taking off like that? Was Taiga able to get home all right after I left him behind at the mansion? I heaved a pained sigh as each thought drifted across my aching mind. I don't want to think. My head hurts too much to think. I rubbed at my temple, then blinked as an old memory suddenly popped to mind. Oh, well, it's funny because you didn't leave him at the mansion, you left him at a restaurant. Anyway. I reached around and gently stroked at the back of my head, looking for just the spot. There, a small indentation that felt different. A little scar, likely no bigger than a fingertip. I had it for as long as I can remember, but I had no idea how I'd gotten it. I'd been hurt, I supposed. Somewhere at some time. I don't recall the event, yet the scar remained like a creepy and irrefutable reminder that something happened. Had I been caught up in the same accident that had killed my parents? Had they died, leaving me behind as the lone survivor? When I was still little, I would secretly trace this scar, my only connection with parents whose faces and names I didn't know. Now I knew that was all wrong. My parents hadn't been in an accident, only I had. The scar must be from the time my brother took me and tried to run away. Grandfather said that attempt had ended in an accident. If only I could have remembered some small thing from that event. Maybe things would have been different. The throbbing in my head intensified. It was like an alarm bell was ringing in my subconscious, warning me not to think too deeply. Hi, tiny bird! I'm sorry, Mr. Neelix is with me. He's down there chirping for you, buddy. I looked out the car window at the nightscape sliding by and saw my face in the reflection, twisted with shame. I know, I'm sorry! Down there chirping so nice because he misses you, but you were down there screaming like an asshole. I closed my eyes tightly, trying desperately to run away from that sight, from everything.
It's an honor to make your acquaintance, Miss Spacey. Please call me Kasuga. As of today, I shall care for you and serve you in all ways.
You know, it did seem kind of odd when in the very beginning you're like, why are they giving us a baby butler? Like, we're a baby and they're giving us a baby butler. It seemed odd at first. Child labor laws and shit. But, like, it makes more sense now.
I'm absolutely your ally, Miss Spacey. I shall always be by your side, and I'll protect you from everything.
From the moment we first met, he was Kasuga to me. That's true, I forgot that's exactly the same CG they just reused in the background.
And don't worry, Miss Spacey. No matter what happens, I'll always take your side. You may rest easy and rely on me, no matter what happens.
I trusted no one, but then he came. Thawed my heart. He promised always to be my ally, no matter what.
You've spent every day working to improve yourself, Miss Spacey, and make up for weaknesses. I've been closer to you than anyone, so you know what I say is true. And besides, have you forgotten who raised you to be who you are today?
Sometimes he was strict, but he always watched over me with warmth. But it's kind of funny because, like, he was totally, like, fine with you marrying, like, Ichi and shit like that, but he was totally against Shion. I'm really confused about his thought process between, like, I hate Shion, like, and liking other people and being okay with it, like, because his unhealthy obsession, I'm just saying I want the unhealthy obsession to be slightly, like, romantic in nature. You know, at the time it was a weird unhealthy obsession, but, like, now it's become a weird unhealthy romantic obsession. I'm just saying, just broaden my horizons here.
What's hardest for me to bear is the thought that you'd ever attempt to let me go. If it's somehow inevitable, I will accept it. But not for you to try to push me away, even if you do so out of concern for me. That would be tantamount to denying the very reason for my existence as your personal butler. But please, miss, might I ask you to read?
In all 8 years we spent together, he hadn't once acted like anything but my personal butler. Calling me his own sister, Miss Spacey, giving up his position as eldest son of the Tojo family. Didn't he have any second thoughts? Why couldn't he just be with me as my brother instead? Girl, stop thinking of him as your brother and start thinking of him as your future boyfriend. Like, come on, get with me on this. No matter how hard I thought about it, I had no idea how Kasuga, my brother, really felt. Yeah, you keep calling him your brother, stop it. I don't know who's saying Spacey, but someone. Oh, okay, Tim.
Miss Spacey, it'll be okay. I'll protect you. I'll keep you safe from everything the world throws at you. So you can relax. You can smile. Your smile makes me happy. I like it more than anything in the world. My precious little sister. You're just so adorable.
My eyes opened wide. Bright sunlight from outside my window shone in. Oops! Really did it, didn't I? Couldn't bear the thought of facing Kasuga, so when I arrived home I promptly locked myself in my room. Then, lost in my haze of confusion, I sat on my sofa and must have fallen asleep. Looking at the clock, it was a little later than I normally woke in the morning. I have to get dressed. School. I knew I had to. Downstairs meant seeing them and seeing Kasuga. I don't want to see anyone right now. I don't want to talk to anyone.
Miss Spacey.
Oh god, now what? I'm still too freaked out to face Kasuga. He must have noticed something was wrong when I dashed straight to my room last night. I made it obvious that I was running from something.
Miss Spacey, is something the matter? Please, miss, open the door and let me see you.
I curled up on my sofa and put my hands over my ears to stifle Kasuga's pleas from behind the door. He comes in, then what?
You cannot lock me out, miss. I carry the master key to the house.
Oh my god, I don't even care that he's our brother. Just kiss him, goddammit. I'm just gonna get really drunk so that it's like... I'd say this sober or drunk, because, like, it's fucking Kasuga. I hurriedly scrambled up from the sofa as Kasuga stepped in, the master key dangling from his hand. Normally he wouldn't dream of being so forward. The normal Kasuga would gently cajole me into opening the door myself. But I'm scared. He wore his usual politely professional smile, but now it was terrifying to me. I took a small, involuntary step backwards. Kasuga's brow furrowed ever so slightly. I don't like this being afraid of Kasuga! You need to leave with Kasuga, run away with him.
I presume you meant with the master. What did he tell you this time?
I I'd left with Taiga on a date, yet somehow he knew I had actually seen grandfather. Did you hear that from Taiga? Did he somehow find it out himself? He just fucking knows you. He's over there like, what did he tell you this time? He knows. I doubt Taiga told him anything. I didn't feel like Kasuga was checking on me out of concern. Felt like he was spying on me. His words seemed suspicious and untrustworthy to me now. Realization shocked me. I don't like that. Like, okay, it's one thing painting Kasuga to be like creepy, obsessive brother. Fine. Okay, I get. Okay, cool. But like now we're totally afraid of him and we hate him and everything is all. Stop it, Joe. That's rude, game. We totally need to be into creepy, obsessive stalker brother. I'm just saying. I'm here for this. Look. Don't be scared and push Kasuga away. Embrace Kasuga. Embrace the weird, obsessive, brotherly love. Saying. When I remained silent, Kasuga attempted to persuade me with a gentle voice that was sweet as honey. I mean, mine's not, but good luck.
Please, miss, tell me, haven't I always been your butler?
Well, yeah. But after you were my brother. That would have been a perfect time to throw that shit out there. My most faithful butler. Or is he something else? That's what I want to know. Heard everything you know. Everything. About grandfather. About our parents. Even about you. Suga, have you been deceiving me? Were you lying to me all these years? Are you really my...
Miss Spacey.
Kasuga smiled. It was the same smile he'd always used when he was trying to draw me out of a fit of sulking. A bit of warmth, a bit of kindness, and a bit of patronization that sighed, "You silly girl."
That's all lies.
Lies?
Of course. Lies that are undoubtedly part of another plot put together by the master.
Oh my god. Okay. Alright, no, I really need like 2 endings to this. Again, everything about this is like twisting and turning and like, do you believe your grandfather Kasuga? And like, obviously, Kasuga's really our fucking brother. This is all the truth. But I love the idea that they're just weaving this and you're like, okay, well, we know what our grandfather told us is 100% true and Kasuga's the one lying to us and like, whatever. But I want it to be like where it just keeps weaving back and forth and like, Kasuga's telling the truth. Wait, he's lying. No, oh my god. And then you just get to the end and there's 2 endings. You believe Kasuga and you're like, no! Even though you know somewhere deep inside, he's absolutely my brother, but I'm choosing not to believe it. I'm going to run away with him. That's it. And then the other one where you're like, just shove. Like, I want the 2 different fucking parallel endings so you can just choose what's canon in your head. You know what I mean? I like that so much better than, here's the actual end. Oh, and then the bad end is like, what? Probably Kasuga dies or some shit. But like, or now I have a weird, sick relationship with my brother. Because that's usually how the bad ends go. And then you're like, that's not a bad end. I'm okay with that. Like, you know? I stared at him in shock. This is the perfect route to do that weird tandem end. Ending A, ending B, and then you're like, pick one.
Haven't you guessed? The master's true intention is to befuddle you with bold-faced lies, so that he can separate you from me. To him, I'm an impediment. Actually, that isn't simply the master. I was surprised to find that Mr. Isarugi is in cahoots with him.
Really? Kasuga nodded, watching me with kind indulgence.
Of course, just lies. So please calm yourself. There's no need to fret.
And he's like, honestly, I know you've forgotten your family, but do you think you'd forget your brother and that your parents were still... Like, what did he tell you? Our parents are alive? That's the perfect thing to manipulate us with, is be like, so he told you that I'm your brother, and our parents are still alive. Does that make any fucking sense with how you were raised? And then you'd be like, absolutely not. And you're like, yeah, okay. What the fuck? And also, weird, if I was your brother, why am I not the heir? Just totally throwing it out there, even though he knows. And you'd be like, oh, because I wanted to be your butler instead of being loaded. Does that make any motherfucking sense? I don't think any brother would do that bullshit. No sibling would do that shit. What? That sounds stupid. And then you'd be like, you know what? You're right. And then you totally believe Kasuga. Stay in the Stockholm Syndrome! Don't get out of it! Stay here! I like it!
Haven't I always told you that I'm the only one who can truly protect you from all those who would harm you? Or believe the master over me, Miss Spacey.
Well, of course not. I believe you, Kasuga. I do too. I mean, I know absolutely what our grandfather told us is true, but I'm totally fine with staying in this lane. I want to wrap myself in the Stockholm Syndrome blanket. Let's stay here. Oh, how much easier this confrontation would be if I could say that with complete faith. I couldn't. Perhaps the Spacey I was before today could have, but right now I couldn't force the words past my lips. But...
Goodness, was this bad indeed? You poor thing. The master must have told you some truly scandalous lies to shake you this much. I hadn't expected something so drastic.
Kasuga sighed deeply, then fixed me with a frighteningly serious stare. Although, I mean, like... Let's just take a step and be like, okay, grandfather, what Kasuga's saying is totally true. I mean, I don't believe Kasuga as far as I could throw the man, but I'm totally still in love with him. It doesn't make a difference. But, like... You know what I mean? Like... Your grandfather spun a really good... Oh, he was a fucking prodigy, and he's so cold, and it's like... But even though Kasuga's always serious, and like, you could... But the thing is like, definitely is manipulative, okay? But like, he's always at least been able to put on a warm front for us. So you'd think her being Stockholm Syndrome with this, and being like, what, no, Kasuga? Huh? What do you mean? And everyone being like, I don't think you can trust Kasuga. And that's now is the only reason she's thinking... Wait, what? Before she would have been like, what the fuck? No, Kasuga's fine. You're crazy. You know? So, like, in her mind, like, oh no, all those times Kasuga's put on the warm god, even though it's probably both. Well, for us, it's probably true. You know what I mean? Because he worships us and is a little too obsessed with us. But all the, like, that's why when people are like, he's a calculating, cold, manipulative bastard. And she's like, what? Nah, he's nice and cuddly. We have, like, wonderful conversations around a fire, making s'mores and sipping hot chocolate and shit. You know what I mean? Like, we go, like, pet bunnies at the bunny farm. You know? Like, all that shit is because that's the way Kasuga is with her, and it's totally true, but also manipulative, so of course we're gonna believe him. I'm just saying! So it'd be easy for her at this point to be like, oh my god, my grandfather was lying, because he said Kasuga's, like a villain, and like, look at him, he's so warm and soft and fluffy. Yeah, to us. Perfect!
Miss Spacey, if I'm being honest, I've long prepared to move you into hiding in case of just such an emergency as this.
Yes! Oh my god, is that the bad ending? Into hiding? Why ever for?
To protect you from the master. From all that you've told me, I wouldn't be surprised if he attempted to force the issue on the matter of your suitor. Well, that's not something I want to see happen either. There are more fitting marriage partners for you.
And then when you put us into hiding, then our marriage partner is you? Is that what you're saying? I'm just throwing it out. Look, I'm okay with this.
Yes, I did go along with the master's orders in regards to your current suitor situation. I even pretended to accept it. But that was merely a bid to buy time. However, I have all in readiness now. You needn't tolerate this farce any longer.
I also wish what they could have done with this is like, I don't want to be here, blah, 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 with the suitors, whatever. And Kasuga's like, look, here's an option. I was worried about this. So I had a thing where you could run away and I'll protect you, blah, blah, blah. And then you run away with Kasuga because you don't want to be married and then you fall in love with Kasuga. And then you're like, and that's an ending. And then they're like, but the true ending, again, the Clue version, right, would be then you find out all this shit after you've already done the, like, path where you run away with Kasuga. Like, they could have stretched it out a little bit where, like, okay, you're finding out and then you're just like, oh my god, no! And you have no idea that Kasuga's your brother. They don't tell you any of that yet. But you choose the run away with him. Like, they have you run away. That's, like, true ending A. The half ending. Like, the true question mark ending. And you run away with Kasuga and you're like, yeah, independent woman running away with Kasuga, perfect! And then you go this, where then all of a sudden you find all this shit and you're like, oh my god, we ran away with Kasuga and he was our brother, what the fuck? I'm just saying, they should come to me for fucking ideas on how to end this shit, because I got so much fucking bullshit going on. Like, I've come up with like 12 fucking endings for this that would have been better than wherever they're taking us. They are not going to let us have Kasuga, and I would have let us have Kasuga, but then also had this bullshit ending where it's like, he's my brother, and like, okay, brotherly love. No, bullshit. I'm not here for that. We're doing our brother, goddammit. I would have given us that ending. I'm not sure they're not going to give us that ending, but I don't feel like they are going to, because I think they're going to fucking chicken out. They're like, they're not going to man up. Oh. Chug, bitches! My head hurt. I might hurt tomorrow. Sorry, I just choked on my own spit. Oh dear God. Only what Kasuga said was true. But if he was the one lying, contradicting emotions warred inside me, sending pulsations of sheer agony through my head. Sure, I looked as if I was on the verge of tears. In an attempt to reassure Kasuga, I tried to smile. He looked at me, then said,
Miss Spacey, if you would do me the honor of trusting my words, please, and take my hand.
Take his fucking hand.
I swear that I will protect you.
Kasuga raised his hand and held it out. It hung there in the air like a choice thrust in front of my face. I do wish there was a choice. Take his hand, don't take his hand, and then that could also... I'm just saying there's a million fucking ways they could have done this that would have been fucking amazing. And I just don't think the actual ending is going to live up to any of the expectations I've set up in my head with the ideas that are throwing through it right now. You know what I'm saying? Please. I already knew my answer. Take his hand. Now that I'd learned to doubt, I couldn't take his hand. God damn it! See? I told you! Yet I still pretended to hesitate. A part of me still wanted to believe him, but I... Damn, you're smooth. Color me impressed. Hell, I bet you could fool a pro-con man. You're that good.
Mr. Isarugi!
Leave Kasuga alone! I don't like this. I don't! They're like, he's a villain, get away! And then, like, but I want to be with Kasuga. That's probably a bad ending. But they say bad ending, but that's like best ending. Everyone, how long have they been standing there? Aiga, along with my other 3 suitors, were all watching from the doorway.
It seems you finally slipped up, Jeeves. Oh, I'm sorry. Ought I call you Tsubame instead? Mr. Isarugi, don't tell me you...
Yep, you bet! Taiga told us everything! Yeah, up to and including his true role in this fiasco. So yeah, there you go. Sorry, Tsubame, but unfortunately for you, I'm on Gramps' side. Oh, I don't like them ganging up on my precious baby. Stop it! Kasuga's polite smile vanished. For the first time in my life, I saw hate twist his face as he glared daggers at my suitors. Don't let him fool you, babe. He's your big bro, no doubt about it, and he's up to his usual tricks. He's pulling a fast one on you so he can mold you into his ideal of a noble lady, same as ever. If his idea... Wait, can I ask a question? Is his idea of a noble lady that I marry him? Because if not, then okay, cool, blow his fuse, let's get out of here. But if he wants to marry me because he's in love with me and some weird, twisted, fucked up shit, I'm here for that. That's all I'm saying. That's the distinction! If he just wants to manipulate me and use me as his puppet. But his puppet that he's in love with? Okay. I mean, I'm just saying. The I get to date Kasuga part is the key deciding factor in which way I'm leaning here, is all I'm saying. So I'm just going to go with that in my head.
Miss Spacey, you mustn't listen to him. Everything he says is a lie.
I wish I could believe that. I want to believe that, Kasuga, and I'm really mad that the game won't let me. The game won't even let me choose to believe it. A thread of panic ran through Kasuga's words, making them ring painfully hollow. Why would he cling desperately to his lie for this long? I simply couldn't understand it. Kasuga, can you prove it?
Huh?
Can you prove to me that what everyone has said is a lie? How can they prove it's not? How can they prove that they're telling the truth? Blood test? Damn it. He couldn't, of course. I knew that when I asked.
Miss Spacey!
Kasuga stared at me, the shock of betrayal shimmering in his eyes. Oh, I don't like this! Stop! Oh, I'm gonna cry for what we're doing to poor Kasuga. I don't care if he's crazy. I love the bastard. I don't care if he's my brother. I mean, obviously, we've gone over that multiple times. A bolt of pain stabbed at my heart. It should, you bitch. I didn't want to hurt him. No, you should want to run away and love him forever. But I was sick of the lies. I wanted the truth. All the truth to come out so I could be done with it. Okay, so wait. Wait, is he gonna go, yeah, no, I'm your brother and I love you. Okay, then I'm okay with it too. I'm just saying. I am not okay with this if it's like we push Kasuga away and whatever, or then we just learn to be a bro. No. You need to go fucking romance. I don't care if he's your brother. I want that twisted shit. That's the way this needs to go, or I'm not gonna be happy. My feelings get through to him. Well, looks like the bird's found her wings, Tsubame, and she doesn't want to go back in her cage. Kasuga's face twisted. Yeah, but sometimes being in a cage is good for birds. They shouldn't be out all the time. They can hurt themselves, especially at night. So that's why cages are good. I'm just saying, throwing it out there as a bird owner. Don't preach what you don't know, Taiga! And then he shoved past them, dashing out of my room. Kasuga, wait! Don't bother, babe. It won't do any good. We stood there, and I could hear Kasuga's footsteps growing fainter and fainter. Oh, they're so mean. You know, I felt bad for Ichiya, but now it's like, you bastards! How dare all of you! Her precious baby Kasuga. Best thing in this fucking game. If I hadn't fallen in love with Kasuga the second he fucking rolled up in the screen, I'm just saying, I don't know how I'd feel about this. So I'm curious, without spoiling anything for people that may not have played this or seen this or whatever in the comments, but like, how did you feel about Kasuga when he rolled up? Were you like, fuck yeah, I'm into this? Or were you like, yeah, no, I mean, Kasuga's fine, he's our butler? Or were you like, fuck Kasuga, I hate Kasuga, I don't trust Kasuga? You know what I mean? Were you like, you know what I mean? Like, where were you on that? Were you like, I don't trust him? Or were you totally in love with him with like me, where this is devastating? Or were you like, yeah, you got your comeuppance, bastard! I'm just saying. I mean, there's like a wild swing, and there's anything in the middle, but I'm just saying there's like the love Kasuga, hate Kasuga, and like if you just didn't trust him or disliked him, when you got to this, you'd probably be like, yeah, good. He was always shady. I didn't trust that bastard. You know? Kind of like the way I felt about Toma in Amnesia. Like, fuck this shit! I hate you, you son of a bitch! Really curious how I'm gonna feel if I replay it now. I mean, some of that shit I'm like, whatever. I'm not as mad about it anymore, but I'm just saying. I don't know if now, what fucking like 20 years fucking later, if I'm gonna play a game and be like, nah, I still hate you. Just on principle. Not for the shit that you've done, because other people have done the same shit and I've been into it. It's fine. You know, the shock of the first time you play, the first game you play, and some of the shit that comes out. If this was your first fucking game that you played for Atome Games, and then you got to hear, you'd be like, the hell is this bullshit? And meanwhile, me played them so long, I'm like, cool. Yeah, I'm into it. Except for this part. How dare you? Kasuga left that day! He didn't come back! Well, the end, I guess. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Well, the game's over. So that was interesting. There's no point in finishing the rest of this. I mean, we're going to. You better fucking come back. I'm just saying. He left that day and didn't come back. I'm sorry. Game, I'm gonna need you to correct your fucking shit. Because you do not just now, not halfway through this route, tell me Kasuga left and never came back. Fuck you, he's coming back. That's what I played this game for. I'm not gonna be the independent, you know, power woman without my sexy butler brother on the side. I bang my butler brother. My brother butler? Whatever. We're banging him on the side. Doesn't matter. Okay, that's what's happening here. Okay, that's where this shit's going. And you don't take him out! What? I'm fucking offended. Mad at this game now. Getting serious. Yeah, I'm getting seriously mad at you, game. With Kasuga missing, my four suitors step up and fill his shoes. But where is he? What is he up to? Yeah, and why the fuck do I gotta deal with these chuckle fucks when I want Kasuga? I did love all the boys, don't get me wrong. And my man harem is great, but it's not... It's only... without Kasuga. With Kasuga, it's like, best man harem, I'm here for it. Okay, the best man harem is the one in my head where all the men that I specifically pluck, like ripe little fruits, pluck into my brain and live there, you know, perfect, cultivated man harem. But like for a game where it's just stuck in a game and this is your man harem, this is a good man harem, I'm okay with this. But it's only adequate and like, fine, I guess, if Kasuga's not here. The fuck? You took out the best thing about this man harem. I'm just saying. Kasuga was the glue that held this man harem together. I like the rest of these chuckle fucks, but they're nothing without Kasuga's. All I'm saying! God, I hate this. I know he's coming back, but still. Immediately after Kasuga left, my 4 suitors and I gathered in the living room. I decided that I'd take time off from school for now. I certainly wasn't in a state to handle classes. I was painfully curious about where Kasuga had gone, but right now talking with them takes priority. Man, you have no idea how surprised I was when Taiga told us what was going on. And to think that kind of drama fueled the reason we were brought here. It seemed that Taiga really had told them everything, judging by their reactions. Up to and including who Kasuga really was. Why break your silence now? You kept it secret this entire time.
I figured what's going on with you and your Gramps, and with Kasuga, took priority over all this crazy suitor crap. Think about it. You really did take a suitor. What would happen when they found out how twisted your home life really was? Feel like fraud, don't you think?
But we did take a suitor 4 times, and we never knew how twisted up my family shit was. And it was going to be even weirder when, like, they found us in bed with our butler, and then, especially Taiga, would have been like, isn't that your brother? And we would have been like, wait, what? Oh, well. You coming in? Threesome? That's not the whiskey. It probably would be totally fine with that. In a game, not in real life. No. In games, all talk, no walk. Like, the shit that goes on in my head and comes out of my mouth when we play these games, but in real life, fuck no. Oh, no, back off. Don't touch me, please. Thanks. Like, I can talk the talk when we play these games, but I do not walk the walk in real life, okay? Like, no. But again, I mean, I would absolutely love to have a sexy fucking butler. I'm just... Okay, like, but not that was my brother. That'd be a little fucking gross. But in the game, into it. Anyway, good point. There wasn't anything I could say to refute that. No one would have told them, obviously. We know that. But if that was the case, one question did crop up.
How will we handle the temporary fiancé scenario that was proposed for Spacey?
Exactly. What about that? I needed a temporary fiancé in order to stave off the suitor the Branch families had put forward. At the time, I had dismissed that whole story as some sort of devious plot, but now I was quite certain it was true. And that meant that I did have to make a choice. Only to buy some time. What? Is there bugs? You make that noise like bugs. Oh, sorry, buddy. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. You okay? What you doing? What you freaking out about? I don't see anything. Anyway. A temporary fiancé. For one of these 4, I pick Kasuga. Living together with you men for this long has helped me to come to understand you all a little. Yes, you all have considerable blemishes, but I've started to realize that you each have your good points, too. But telling me that I have to choose one of you right now, on the spot, sounded like an excuse, even to me. But to be honest, I wasn't in the right frame of mind to think about getting engaged, even temporarily. Not after everything that had been dropped on me. I mean, they gotta understand that. Still, they were my official suitors. Though I tried to sound considerate, dodging the subject was not the most respectful thing I could do.
Spacey, it's okay. We'll be fine. You don't have to worry so much about it.
Huh? Mayuta's voice was soft, worried. I looked up and saw all 4 of them smiling.
Indeed, Nayuta's correct.
See, we thought you might say something like that, so we decided on a gentleman's agreement between us.
A gentleman's agreement?
Yeah. And Taiga's probably an exception, but the rest of us are all here for reasons of our own. We all had goals in mind when we agreed to become your suitor. We all want you to choose us over any of the others, so we're definitely rivals in that sense. But there's one thing that all of us agree on wholeheartedly. We all want you to be happy.
She is right, and none of us want to see you stuck in an ugly marriage you don't consider fulfilling.
Well, that marriage is to the Shinzaki suitor or to one of us, or to somebody else entirely.
I think it's so funny because I want to see Ichi's reaction because I don't. Did he know? No, he knew. Never mind. He knew in his route that his brother was vying for us or whatever. And then when he got invited to the house, because yeah, okay, Kazuya said that right. He's like, you knew. Because I was like, for a hot second, I was like, did he know? Because like, if that was when that realization was dropped on him, I wanted to see him like, you know. But he already knew, so it's not a shock to him.
Great! So we all promise we cooperate until you deal with that whole Shinzaki stuff. Pretty much what they said.
Seeing them all smile at me, I felt a lump form in my throat. I could barely force any words past it. Then I...
You don't need to force yourself to choose any of us.
I froze for a moment as I slowly processed what Ichiya said. I felt a huge weight lift off my shoulders. It never even occurred to me that they might do this much for me. They aren't bad people. They're not bad at all. No, they're good boys and we love them all. But we love Kasuga most, and I don't care if he's my brother, go get him. I still couldn't say exactly why grandfather chose these four in particular. Not yet. But looking back, living together with them had been the catalyst for a lot of changes in me, both big and small. I'd read their background reports, a single piece of paper, and I'd judged them by it. I'd labeled them budding scandals. I'd pushed them away and been rude. And yet, here they are, doing something for me that was of no benefit to them. It'd be a detriment. For the first time it hit me just how rare it was to experience such warmth and care from another person. Sorry. The knot in my throat turned hot and my eyes started to prickle. I desperately tried to hold my composure.
So, that means what we have to do now is find some way to come to an understanding with the Shinzaki suitor.
They discussed this issue enough that they were already trying to find ways to solve it. For my sake. I didn't have time to wallow in self-pity. I pulled myself together. First things first, I had to give them all the information that I had. I'm sure it'll be impossible to convince the Branch families to call off the marriage interview entirely. Even grandfather couldn't manage that.
Yeah, then I guess we'll just have to talk to him in person about it.
Him? Him who? Ichiya looked down, then back up. His gaze firm. We all know, but he had obviously steeled himself for a declaration.
The four of us are no longer rivals for Spacey's affection. We're a team working together to protect her.
Yeah, I have enough protection with Kasuga, thank you. Whoa, what is happening? What just happened to my thing?
I think that means we shouldn't keep secrets from each other anymore. I'll spill first. See, I'm a Shinzaki.
Shinzaki? I didn't need to remind the others that Shinzaki was the last name of my new potential suitor.
Well, hold on a minute. What's that supposed to mean? Ichiya, you're a Mitsumori and a Shinzaki?
I mean, well, your parents usually aren't, unlike me and Kasuga, related, so they don't usually have the same last name when they're together. So technically you're, of the two lineage. I mean, that's not how this is working, but you know what I mean. Like Nayuta, that could be how it's working.
Taiga, did you know?
Gramps did give me a quick rundown, yeah.
Taiga looked over at Ichiya, who was quiet for a moment, and then began to speak.
My last name is different because I was sent to join the Mitsumori family. The man at the center of the push to have the Tojo family accept the proposal is my twin brother.
And then you're like, oh, well, at least I know he's hot. You're like, what? Nothing. I was shocked. Ichiya was actually a Shinzaki, and it was his own brother pushing to become my suitor. Well, that's okay. Your own brother is pushing to become your suitor, kind of, sort of. I'm hoping. Probably after his confession, Ichiya pulled out his phone and contacted his brother, Mr. Shinzaki. Apparently, he had talked things over with him before he revealed his true family name to us. It only took a few moments of chatting before Mr. Shinzaki agreed to come see us directly. I love this. We're even bringing Kazu back.
He's arrived.
That's him. Wait, have we met Kazu before? We met Kazu in the common route, didn't we? I followed Ichiya's gaze to see a high-end foreign luxury car pull up. I took a deep breath. I took deep breath after deep breath, desperately trying to slow my pounding heartbeat. I'm down. I can't let him detect that I'm nervous. I have to look like I'm in control. He walks up and you're like, Kazu! What's up, man? I'm just kidding. But no matter how much I tried to soothe myself, I couldn't dislodge my fingernails from my palms.
Hey there, Ichiya. It's been a while. I have to admit, even I didn't predict the two of us would meet again under such strange and specific circumstances.
I don't remember his voice, but whatever.
I'm sure you didn't.
I hardly believed my eyes as Mr. Shinzaki got out of the car. The outfit is different, but I definitely know him. I mean, the pose is exactly the same. Kazu? I definitely like this look on him better. I'm just saying. I couldn't help but shout. I was so surprised. He turned to me, a pleasant smile on his face. Okay, listen. Kasuga, I'll run away with you. But then we got a plot to take over the Tojo family. No, we're not going to run away. I'm going to be the Tojo family heir, and I'm going to run this shit. You know, you can puppet master me from behind, because you know this. And then I've got my man harem with my Shinzaki boys and Taiga, Nayuta, and Shion. And Kasu! I mean, this is great. Is this the ending we're getting? Am I getting a man harem ending? We're not. But I'm just saying, I'm here for that too. As long as Kasuga's part of it. We can't leave him out. Spacey, it's been too long. You haven't answered any of my Wisp messages lately, so I was getting worried. What? What is going on? Kazu continued on, ignoring my confusion. Let me introduce myself properly. I'm Kazuya Shinzaki. It's an honor to meet you, Miss Spacey Tojo. He looked the picture of a high-flying businessman standing there in his suit, his hand held out to shake. Still bewildered, I hesitantly shook his hand. He always wore sunglasses before, so I didn't notice. But now that I look, he does resemble Ichiya. They're almost identical, in fact. I mean, they are identical twins. Kazuya noticed me staring at him, and he grimaced. I didn't mean to trick you, I promise. It really was sheer coincidence that I rescued you that day. I like how in this, he just seems, like, nice and endearing, instead of, like, in Ichiya's route, where you're like, you kind of seem like a sinister prick. And then he kind of then you're like, okay, you're not that bad. But still, you know what I mean? But since I did get to know you, I took advantage of the opportunity to get a little more information on your relationship with your suitors. Sorry, he says. In the end, I'd been handing confidential information over to my enemy myself. I almost started to trust him, and he deceived me for it. Pain of that truth wouldn't soon fade. I mean, right now you're like, Taiga's been lying to me. Ichiya lied about that. Kazu was lying to me. Because everyone is lying to me. Take Shion and go. You never lied to him. Nayuta didn't. Well, Nayuta kind of did, because he was here to be your freaking, like, bodyguard and not your, like, suitor. But, like, he's too stupid to realize he was lying to you, because he doesn't know what's happening, so it's not his fault. But right now, I have to convince him to see our side of things if we're going to get anywhere at all. I shoved my feelings into a small corner of my mind and wordlessly invited him into the house. Okay, so we're going to fade here. I know we're a little under time, but I'm going to stop just because I feel like this part it could only go on for a couple of minutes. It could go on for like 5-10, and I don't want to go too far over. So anyway, I miss Kasuga. Thought this whole thing was going to be all about Kasuga and his fucking bullshit, and I'm just mad that he's gone. So I want his bullshit back. Anyway. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.